Hey, this is Matt from Budget Boosting. Today I'm going to show you guys how to install an aftermarket tuner on a 2015 Mustang EcoBoost, or what I call a Mustang Turbo. This particular tuner is called the DiabloSport's Tune. It's right here. This nice little handheld tuner. Kind of looks like a little cell phone. Small, portable. And before you even go and install the tuner, get on the DiabloSport's website and plug this into your computer by way of an Obd2 port, and you can make sure this thing is uploaded to the latest updates on the tune before you hook it to your car. They also say that in the DiabloSport's instructions as well. You go to the site, you download the latest, make sure it's got the latest version, the latest update, and then you get to this point, you go put it in your car. So the first thing you do is look for the Obd2 port, which has a shape like this, and this is the diagnostic port where you find your trouble codes. So I'm going to let my camera guy here look at the Obd2 port where we're plugging into on the 2015 Mustang. Should be able to see it.
Super dark.
Kind of hard to see because of all the darkness, but should be able to see it. I'm going to plug into this Obd2 port and we'll power the DiabloSport up. Alright, you watch it power up, and it takes its time to power up here. And the instructions say on this, if you have a car with a key, there'll be certain times it tells you to turn the key on, engine off, turn the key on, off, engine off. And with this car, it doesn't have a key. It has a push button start. So what they tell you to do on this kind of car with a push button start is hold the start button for 3 seconds. Because to start the vehicle, you have to push the brake and push the start button. But when you do this tuning, you have to just push the start button without touching the brake, because that'll start the car. So you're just turning the ignition on without touching the brake. So with keyless type vehicles, you just hold the start button for a few seconds, and that will comply with the key on, what they require for the Tune. So now that it's booting up, I'm going to get in the car, and he's going to get on the other side, and we can see what this Tune is doing. Alright, here we go. Now here's the options we have: tune vehicle, scan tool, or settings. Well, unless you have a trouble code, you can use the scan tool to look at trouble codes and reset your trouble codes if you need to. So this thing does more than just tune. It's also a scan tool, tells you your trouble codes, allows you to reset. It's really neat. And the tune vehicle is what we're going to do. So we're going to push tune vehicle, and it gives you this little disclaimer warning. So you want to agree, which is yes. And write vehicle is when you want to put a tune on there. So we're going to write vehicle. So you hold the ignition key on for a few seconds. Since there's no key to turn on, then you wait for it to do its thing. Okay, we're going to go for the 91 Octane Tune. And yes, we're going to pick it. Now it will save the original. So what it does is it saves your original program from your PCM, or powertrain control module, your computer. So it's going to save it. So we wait for it to do its deal here. It takes a little time. You see the percentages. It gives you updates every little bit here. It's pretty quick. Something to also know too is if you don't go to the computer to get its latest updates, this backup process will take more than an hour. So this is very important that before you do what I'm doing now, you get on the computer plug this thing into the OBD port, the USB port on the computer, and get the latest update. Because if you don't, this backup PCM could take over an hour, and your car will not really do that very well. As you can see here, it just took a minute or so, and it says PCM original backup. It says modify the tune. So that means you can set parameters if you like to, so I hit yes. And you can tune the axle ratio, cam timing, desired electronic control temperature. So I'll go into there. And this is when the fan comes on, so I can take it down some. Like I want my fan to come on at about, I'll say it comes on 175. I like that, so I'll pick that. So you can change certain parameters. It's pretty neat. Reven speed limits. Okay, you can pick your rev speed limits. Oh, that's decent. I think I'll leave that alone. Rev limit, I'll leave that alone. 7,100 RPM's plenty of rev limit. So we'll go down. Rev and speed limits, shift pressure. I like a harder shift, so I can bump up the shift pressure a little bit. So first to second, I'm going to bump it up about 20%. That sounds good. I'll do that with second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Bump it up a 20. That should give me a nice bark between gears. Okay, and let the shift really hit you hard, which is what I like. I didn't go to the max, I just bumped it up a notch. Because from the factory, it's a very soft shift. It's not a very hard shift, so we're going to make it more firm. You can also adjust spark advance and wide open throttle fuel, which I'm not going to adjust because I'm going to leave it alone for now. Okay, I'm going to install my tune. Yes. There we go. Just let it sit there and run its course. First it builds the tune, and then it installs the tune. And the tune gets installed on your power constraint module, or your engine computer, PCM they like to call it. This tune gets installed on your engine's computer. So when you're done tuning, you can take this thing and stow it away, and no one visually can tell you have a tune on your car. Now if you go back to the dealership for anything, or for any maintenance, or for any flash updates, you want to download the factory tune back onto the vehicle, because if someone else plugs into your OBD port, like a dealership, then it could screw up the tune, and it could screw up other things. So you want to make sure this is totally uninstalled or restored in your vehicle if you ever go to a dealership, because they always plug into your OBD port, and sometimes they do flash updates to your computer, and that would totally mess up the tune and most likely mess up the warranty too. So this is one of the things you don't do if you want to maintain your factory warranty. This is just something I'm showing you how to do, because I can go ahead and restore it back to factory just like right after I did it. So it's one of those things you want to wait till after your warranty's done to do. So just keep that in mind. Now Ford Racing is supposed to be making a tune package for this Mustang, and I highly recommend one of those because it does back up your factory warranty. But just for sake and purposes, I'm showing you how to do this, so you know how to put a tune on your Mustang, and you can actually feel the difference. Do a few runs with it. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, restore it. Restore it back to factory. And that's a must to do if you go to the dealership for anything. Must restore it back to factory. Alright, we're getting there. Still down building the tune. Now you can see on the screen it went from setting up the tune to writing the tune. Now it's actually doing the programming to your computer now. So as you can see, you're getting updated on the percent. All the lights usually go off in your car when it's doing this. It's writing the tune. Takes a few minutes, and when it's done, it'll be ready to drive. Alright, we're getting close. It's almost done. Okay, here we go. 100%. Then it'll give you some more instructions. Hear the sounds it's making? It's making adjustments to the engine's computer. Okay. Key cycle, so you turn it off. And then you turn it back on. Exporting file, doing its little thing here. Final last bit. Okay, now your final thing, it says it's been successfully installed. You may now unplug the Intune or continue. Now if you want to restore your factory tune, all you have to do is wait for the main menu and you push the restore button, which will restore it right back to factory original. When you hit tune vehicle, you hit restore vehicle, and then it'll tell you the steps to do to totally bring it back to stock. I can show a separate video on that as well to show all the steps. So that's it. So that's it. Thanks for watching Budget Boostin'. If you like us on Facebook, like us on our YouTube page, subscribe to our YouTube page, check out our budgetboosting.com website, and our window stickers, and all that good stuff. And remember, knowledge is power. It's horsepower. Alright, now we're going to go on a little ride with the windows down so you can hear how it sounds when we're driving. So here we go.